In the late 1920s, the prospect of a Hillsborough High student enrolling in college was bleak. The nation was in the throes of the Great Depression. Businesses were failing, and many of Tampa's beautiful waterfront homes were left abandoned. The principal at Hillsborough High, Frederick Spaulding, didn't see these barriers. He only saw bright young students who were in need of a place to continue their learning. In 1931, collegiate-level courses were offered at Hillsborough High. This would later become the University of Tampa. On August 2, 1933, Spaulding arrived at the doors of Plant Hall with a 100-year lease from the city and a firm resolve, and with the turn of a key, opened the door to the University of Tampa. In its fledgling years, UT was fortunate if it could collect half of the tuition due from its students. It was only through the dedication of its professors, who worked without pay, that the university survived the Great Depression. Over the next several decades, UT grew slightly, enrolling up to 1,800 at times, starting several sports teams, and even began accepting students from other areas of the country. But in the early 90s, the growth seemed to stand still, even stop. UT needed new life, some passion. UT needed strong leadership.
In 1995, Dr. Vaughn became president and UT began to transform. 1,000 UT students has become 7,200, and we are now entering our 17th consecutive year of record enrollment. All the while, UT's academic profile continues to increase. There has been $350 million in new construction since 2000. We have added 7 new residence halls, academic buildings and labs, as well as athletic facilities. Plant Hall even got new carpet and new windows. UT now has more than 3,000 events annually and 200 clubs and student organizations. We have won 13 NCAA Division II championships, and since 2000, Spartan teams have won 35 Sunshine State Conference titles. As a member of the University of Tampa Spartan family, you are a guiding force behind UT's remarkable success. We are alums, students, parents, and friends, and together we are changing lives. We are individuals, yet the greater whole is only complete when we work together. You have helped make UT a vibrant community with growing resources and a superior reputation. Just like in the beginning when professors worked without pay, the spirit of giving at UT remains strong. Last year, nearly $14 million was donated to the university by thousands of generous supporters. When we strengthen education, we strengthen our job force and our nation as a whole. Donations support academics, campus life, and a student's ability to afford an education. Your participation is what matters most and shows that our Spartan family believes in the future of UT. Whatever level of support, your gift is important to us and enables UT to provide the challenging, high-quality education that has defined our university. Thank you for helping UT achieve such great success.
This is the University of Tampa. UT students travel from across the nation and around the globe to join a dynamic learning community. There are 150 academic programs, continuing studies for non-traditional students, and a highly ranked graduate school. The UT experience begins with an innovative first-year program and continues with opportunities to challenge yourself in the honors program, to study abroad, to conduct research with faculty, to do an internship, to volunteer in the community, or to participate in multiple leadership programs. Explore your dreams, discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
In NCAA Division II, student-athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student-athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student-athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams, discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa. This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
And welcome back, Embry, Riddle, and Tampa. Game 2 here on Saturday afternoon. First pitch taken low for ball 1. I'm Taylor Storworthy. And last time out, Tampa had a big early jump, and they were able to hold on to a pretty big victory. They're going to be looking to close out a series sweep here. Embry Riddle hoping to get in the way. Here's how the Spartans line up in the field. Jamarcus Lyons gets the start in left. Center field, Jordan Lala, and right field, E.J. Cumbo. Anthony Nunez at third, J.D. Urso at short. Over at second base is Drew Earhart, and E.J. Dosco back at first. Garavito is behind the plate, forming the battery alongside number 31, Skylar Gonzalez, who's going to take the start. Leading off is Traficante, who takes a walk to open the game. Leadoff walk is just what the doctor ordered for Embry Riddle, as they're hoping to rebound after what was a tough loss not too long ago. Runner aboard. Now at the plate is Marinello, strike one. Marinello, 391 average entering today's games. This one gets over to Garavito and bounces in a weird way to allow Traficante to get to second. That'll be a wild pitch or a passed ball. My assumption is the latter, a wild pitch. Runner in scoring position with no one out, 1-1 count. Garavito, another one that went outside, but this time he is on top of it. Traficante is ready to try to go to third, though. He's aggressive and looking to try to make the Spartans pay. And Garavito and Gonzalez just going over some stuff quickly here. Traficante, Marinello, Kennedy Davis, Adesanya, Reynolds, Post, Vittoria, Britton, and James is how Embry Riddle will line up. That was pretty much the starting lineup from the game earlier today. We'll see how they can do. The 2-1 just goes low as a well-placed slider and almost offered a swing for Marinello. Could put a second runner aboard. Ball 4 outside. Not be surprised if we see Militello potentially stepping out to the mound. But 2 walks to start is not what you want to see. And because of that, we're going to see Militello go out and check in with Gonzalez. Kenny Davis will have a small wait before he gets his first step out of the game. So we're ready to continue. 2 aboard. And this one gets away from Garavito. So 1-0 to Kennedy Davis. That one in the dirt. Just can't locate those low pitches. And Garavito is doing a good job to try to keep on top of them, but it can be tricky. Finally gets it. It's a 2-1 count. At this point, you wouldn't want to load the bases for Aracena. He had a decent game last time out. Fouled away, so we will get a full count. Good grab over at the Spartans dugout. The 10-7 Eagles looking for a hot start. This one's going to be grounded to short. Earhart gets one. That's all they get. Helps a little bit. 1 out and runners at the corners. Double play ball will be in action. But you do also have 1 runner ready to go home. Adesanya wasn't able to get a hit last time, but did draw a walk. If he's able to utilize that discipline, he could try to load the bases here. That one, I think the sinker just dipping low for ball 1. Tampa entering the game 16-3. They're on a 4-game winning streak. Number 5 would close the sweep. This one fouled off the turf. 1-1. From the stretch, Gonzalez. This one popped up. Nunez looking at foul territory. Make the catch. That's exactly what you want because it's way too shallow for Trafficante to dream about tagging up. 2 away. Josh Reynolds at the plate. And now what I'm going to be interested in. Are we going to see Kennedy Davis potentially trying to steal second? You have to be ready. If Garavito tries to make the throw to second, you could see Traficante head home. Seen this quite a few times. Garavito on top of it, and Kennedy Davis uses the opportunity to take second. Traficante was not going to go home on that play. It's now 2 in scoring position. They'd both score on a base hit. 2 away and a 1-0 count. Swung on and missed. Got him with the low one. So if Gonzalez can recover, that would be good for him to try to set up a solid outing. Because obviously it was a very shaky start with the opening 2 walks. That one's a bit high. I suppose at this stage, with a lot of pitches missing low and away, you'd rather something that misses just slightly higher for a change. 2-1. There's Gonzalez finding the zone. 2-2. One more strike would get out of the jam. From the stretch. Popped up. Cumbo and Dosco looking, but that's going to be a souvenir for Embry Riddle's bullpen. And we'll go again. One more ball to give. He could burn a pitch if he'd like. And again, you also have the free base. So if you do a little too conservative here, this one's going to be blooped to right. It is caught by Cumbo. That's a tough ball to read. It's one that very often can drop for a base hit. The good news is, for the Spartans, it doesn't. 2 runners get aboard, and they get stranded. Great recovery from Skylar Gonzalez. That'll conclude at the top of the first. Spartans get a chance. 1, 2, 3 on deck. And we are back. Bottom of the first inning, and I will say, a little scary for the Spartans to start out the game. Skylar Gonzalez struggled to locate in the first inning, but he was able to recover with 2 aboard and keep Embry Riddle from getting on the board. And now it's going to be the Spartans' chance to try to generate some offense. 16 runs were scored in the previous game. That's a season high for the Spartans. As they look to close out the series sweep, they'd certainly like to get out to a hot start here. Hello again, I'm Taylor Storley, and let's run you down through the Spartan order. Leading off will be Jordan Lala, followed by Drew Earhart. J.D. Urso up third, EJ Dasco fourth, Santiago Garavito running fifth, Anthony Nunez in sixth, EJ Cumbo in seventh. We're going to see Rodriguez again at 8th, and Jamarcus Lyons. That's the one change. He'll be taking the start at DH. In left field. Rodriguez is going to be filling in at DH today for Game 2. But apart from those minor changes, same lineup for Game 1. Also, all these players did have at-bats in Game 1 today because, well, the Spartans were able to rotate everyone in the lineup except Urso with a big lead. On Tuesday night, Tampa will face off against Valdosta State. A bit of a reverse homecoming for EJ Dasco. And then next weekend, they'll be on the road at Florida Southern to continue Sunshine State Conference play. On Wednesday, Embry Riddle will be home facing off against Purdue Northwest in a doubleheader. They'll have a weekend series at St. Leo. 2-1 here. Three and 1, this one just high. It's going to be Moran on the mound for Embry Riddle. 4 starts, 1-1 record, a 23 and a third pitched, 18 strikeouts to 4 walks, showcasing great stuff and good control to back it up. Lala's going to pop this one up. It's going to be down by no man's land, but making the catch is Marinello. Moran also enters with a 1.93 ERA, only 5 earned in his 4 outings. 2 of them, at minimum, came from home runs. Here comes Drew Earhart. By the way, not an incredibly windy day, but we have seen a few home runs leave the yard already. Wonder if a few more could do the same. Anyway, here's Drew Earhart to open up with one away, and oof, just on that low corner, 0-1. Oh, and 2. That one an 80-foot slider, just going down a little too early. So Earhart able to stay alive here. The top half of the Spartan order is pretty deadly, and the bottom half is also no laughing matter. As a team entering today, the Spartans hitting .335. Well, entering this game, they're hitting .335. That number might be going up in the future. As this one's a line drive. Good news for Moran. He's able to dodge it. I know he would have liked to get his glove onto it, but he couldn't. And now puts a runner on with one away for J.D. Urso. Urso, a .368 average, .605 slugging, .447 on base percentage. He leads the team with 26 RBIs. He also has a triple and 2 home runs. He's able to hit when it's clutch. And so can the batter on deck, E.J. Dosko, who walked 3 times in the last game. Earhart back at first, as Moran was looking over. Slider, low for ball 1. See, Moran, I think he really likes to utilize that slider. The slider's a great pitch. We see it even more commonly used in the modern MLB, but the thing you have to be careful with is hanging it, especially over against these good Spartan power hitters. See, sliders like that really do get over the zone can be tricky, but that one was well placed. It got the far outside corner and brings the count to 1-1 for Urso. Of course, J.D. Urso, son of Coach Urso, continues his strong Spartans career. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't have his number hanging right next to his father's out in right center field in the future. 1-1 with 1 aboard and 1 away. Urso fouls it off. That was a fastball. Just, I think, a tad bit late as it went away from Urso on the foul ball. One thing I've noticed is that if someone goes early, they'll usually chop it down the pull side. If they're late, they'll usually go it down the push side to the opposite field. 1-2. This one hit hard down the third base line. Earhart, he has the wheels. He might be sent home by Coach Urso. No, he's going to be held up at third. The throw would have been close, but Urso's going to play it safe with Dosko up on deck. It's a standing double for J.D. Urso. One positive of turf is that the jerseys won't get dirty. Because, again, if you're just tuning in, probably hard to since it's the 3rd game of a series. Tampa's field is now a turf field. That was a change that happened over the winter. But the turf allows for jerseys and uniforms to remain relatively cleaner on doubleheader days like this. That one was close. Called a ball. I don't think I would have blamed the umpire if that was called a strike because that looked pretty good. 1-0 to E.J. Dosko. I don't think he had a hit last time, but again, he got on base so many times and scored quite a few as well. Overall, pretty good game for him. Dasco gets under this one. Wow, that one's going to be hit deep. It will score a run on the tag up from Earhart. Needed a little more oomph to leave the yard, but the Spartans take a 1-0 lead. Here's Garavito. He also drew 2 walks in the previous game. Didn't get a hit. But knows how to get on base. And he'll be trying to keep the inning alive. Potentially give the Spartans an extra run to their lead. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Oh, 1 to Garavito. By the way, it's going to be Nunez on deck. He'll either be leading off or have a chance with a slightly larger Spartan lead. Could be leaning the other way, though, as Garavito now falls 0-2 to Moran. Got him early twice in a row. Moran ready with the 0-2. This one goes high, ball 1. This one inside. A little bit of sweet chin music, trying to potentially get Garavito into a swing, but it didn't work. Count's going to go to 2-2 now. And oof, strike 3 called on the front door slider. You know, I can't really blame Garavito for being a bit disappointed. That was very close. I'm not sure if that was a strike, but hey, listen, you're not going to win in an argument with City Hall. That concludes the bottom of the first. Spartans take a 1-run lead on 2 hits. 1 left on. We'll enter the top of the second right after this. And we are back, top of the second. Spartans with a 1-0 lead. This one's going to be ripped for a base hit into the outfield. So before I could even introduce Post, he's going to post a hit to start the game and start the inning. That'll be the first hit for Embry Riddle, and that brings up Vittoria with the man on. Tries to bunt, looking to advance the runner. He'll do that, but he's not safe at first. A good enough play over at third by Nunez to get the throw. Great effort. Dasco picked it up. It was a lower throw, but it did get there in time. Smart play by Vittoria. Put a runner in scoring position with one away. That brings up Britton. Britton went 0 for 3 last time. We'll be looking for an improvement here. Hitting .321 on the season. It's going to take that off speed right down the middle for strike one. And again for Gonzalez, 28 pitches in the game. Quite a few of those came in that slightly longer first inning. Just the fourth pitch of this inning here. The first one was a hit to the outfield. Second one was a sac bunt. And now we actually have a longer at-bat here as Britton's waiting to see what Gonzalez is throwing. Just misses down low, 2-1. Nunez. It was a high grounder to third. And he was looking over at second for a second, making sure that Post wasn't going to try to steal third when he made the throw, and had plenty of time to get the out at first. And a good grab by Nunez, too. That's not the easiest ball to field on a hop. 2 away. That brings up bottom of the order, James. This time, Post will be running on any hit. He's going to try to get home and score and tie this game up. We were tied exiting the second inning, entering the third in the previous one. Well, in the bottom of the third, we were tied. Dasco was almost there to help the Spartans keep the lead. Great effort to run all the way to the end of the bullpen, but that one falls right next to the net, and that's just too hard to get. Here's the 0-1. Just misses high. Fouled back. 1-2. Did he go? Yes, he did. A big strikeout for Gonzalez to get out of the inning. One runner aboard and sent to second, but there he's left out to dry. Gonzalez, another clean inning. We enter the bottom of the second. We'll be back after this.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive. to achieve every goal we aim for. Because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Tampa took a 1-run lead last time. They've been holding on. And now, let's see if they can expand that lead here. Nunez, Gumbo, Rodriguez, 2 up. Anthony Nunez at the plate. He has been hot this season. I think he's one of the feel-good stories, emerging as a breakout hitter. We'd love to see Nunez continue to shine here. In fact, he actually flashed for a bunt to start the at-bat, trying to keep James and the gang off guard in the midfield. Nunez is not the biggest bunt threat in the team. I'd say that would probably be a Cadenas or Lala, who's really got the wheels to make it to first on a play like that. But maybe the goal is to just try to mess with the pitcher, mess with the infield, get them thinking. Because again, baseball's a very mental game. And I will say, he is very much a tactician of mind games. Back against Davenport, he tried obstructing the view of a runner, potentially trying to, throw him off on a potential sac fly. It was a post that eventually got replied by John Boy Media. And a little bit of criticism on Twitter, but runner scored. So I think in the end of the day, it was fair. And a fair walk here for Nunez, working the 3-1 to a 4-1 count. But now I wonder, because he did flash the bunt earlier, will Moran be worried about him as a base-stealing threat? Now, I don't think that's a terrible idea. He actually has 3 in the season. Notably, he's also been caught twice in the base paths, tied for the lead alongside Lala and Cumbo for Spartan base runners. Speaking of Cumbo, he's at the plate. And here goes Nunez. He is out. He did not avoid the tag. That was a close play. But the umpire is going to say he got the tag. The infield umpire is Nelson Fraley, while Roberto Knox Reyes is behind the plate. Cumbo was swinging to try to help out Nunez in the base path there. 1 away and an 0-1 count. Well, Cumbo is going to respond with a ball to the outfield. Marinello is in time to make the catch, 2 away. So the idea there ultimately backfires, and the Spartans now have 2 outs to bring up Rodriguez. Luis Rodriguez, .250 on the year. Quieter game 1, but he didn't have a chance to really help his cause late in the game because, well, the Spartans were leading so much, they decided to pinch field and pinch hit him. 0-1 taken. Let's see what he can do this time. He had a good start as a Spartan. As he gets settled in, I bet we'll see him continually get better as time goes. That was a similar off-speed to the strike 1 pitch, but misses, ball 1. Fouled back, 1-2. So after that first inning, Moran, I think, would not mind getting out of that very quickly. Tried to get him with a slider, but far outside and somewhat easy take. This one chopped on the ground. Almost a swinging bunt from Rodriguez. But he beats the throw by a step. Great speed there to get aboard. And I think that's the perfect type of swing when you're trying to do that, because it lands just in front of the plate and you're forcing Moran to run off the mound to get to it. Here comes Jamarcus Lyons. He's had a good start to the season at the plate. .280. Just not a lot of BABIP luck. If those early hits he had were actually getting down and not right into outfielders' gloves, he'd be one of the leading hitters for the Spartans, for sure. And that one's, well, I'm a little surprised, just like Lions is. That one a little low, but they said it stayed just over the plate long enough. 0-1 here. It was a good idea to run the sinker on that first pitch. Lions rips this one to left, and that is the type of BABIP luck that I'm talking about. That was hard hit, but perfectly in Marinello's direction. Spartans do get a couple base runners, but a caught stealing and one gets stranded. Not a great inning for the Spartans. They still hold a one-run lead as we enter the top of the third.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
More than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Traficante leads off for the Embry Riddle Eagles. That one lands in the zone. Strike one. Skylar Gonzalez. Good job recovering after the first inning. Traficante was walked to open the game, and now he finds himself down 0-2 in the count with that two-seamer. Foul back. This one's going to be grounded hard to Earhart. By the way, Tampa was running a shift on that play, trying to watch him pulling it, and indeed he did. That's going to bring up A.J. Marinello with one away. Ball one here on what I honestly thought would be strike one, but again, it's hard to read the strike zone sometimes. It's tough to tell exactly where it's going to be called over the plate, and where Knox Reyes was looking was just a little too high for his liking. It's 3-0 quickly to Marinello. One aboard, or one out. So if a runner got aboard, you'd open up a double play opportunity. Something that we've seen Earhart, Urso, Nunez, and Dasco complete before. This one's going to be grounded. Gets by Dasco. He's going to be turning too, but holds up because Cumbo did get to it quickly. Just hit it sharply down the first base line, and while it wasn't really good contact, just as a good spot that Dasco can't make a grab on it. That'd be a hard play, I think, for some of the best fielders at first base, and obviously you're looking for someone who knows how to cover a bag more than make absolutely crazy diving plays. That one hung over the plate, and even though it's hit well, that's going to go straight into Lala's glove. 2 outs. Dasko's got great defense at first, and he made a good attempt on that hard ground ball, but not even some of the best major leaguers probably would be able to come up with a play like that. So Kennedy Davis' bat, and just as quickly as it starts with a deep fly ball, here's Aracena. This one just goes a little low. The first pitch slider is something that Gonzalez really likes, and I think he should be careful with that. Because if Embry Riddle starts to read it, they could try to rip it deep a little more, because if you hang a slider for a strike and someone's guessing it, that's a pitch they can really get under and hit deep. It's been working for the most part. 2-0 to Aracena. He fouled out on a fly ball. Now he's ahead 3-0 here. Gonzalez was able to work out of that 3-0 the previous at-bat against Marinello, until the 3-1 grounder got Marinello on base. This time it's just going to be ball 4 with 2 outs. Again, at this stage, probably not feeling too bad about Skylar Gonzalez, but should be a little careful. Here comes Josh Reynolds. For the season, only hitting .239, but does carry a .435 slugging percentage, 2 home runs, and it's second on the team, tied with Aracena, 2 behind Camden Traficante. Those are the big home run hitters for Embry Riddle. Just misses, so 2-0 count here. Swing and a miss, 2-1. That's an important pitch to get in an at-bat like this. As we'll see a few players stretching and warming up in the Spartan bullpen. Getting off a few days of rest, so that gives them more leniency, especially since they didn't have to blow through their bullpen in Game 1. They used a few pitchers, but the majority of it is still in great shape. Two-two. Or is it 3-1? I think it's 2-2. That's what both scoreboards are saying. That one gets away and both runners advance. 3-2 here. Full count. 2 out and 2 aboard. Tying run at third. Go ahead run at second. Reynolds flew out last time. Interestingly, to right field, if he had a blooper down the right field line, it would give Embry Riddle the lead. This one's going to be grounded to Nunez. He was playing far back, and he makes the throw to first to end the inning. That is not an easy throw to make, and Nunez almost effortlessly makes it. Good pickup by Dasko, and the inning is over. Jackson escapes the jam. 1-0 Spartan lead. tough task. The 1-2-3 hitters. Both pitchers doing a good job. The only downside for Moran was the sac fly that we saw earlier. And Lala will open the inning. Flew out in his first at-bat. I'll say a lot tamer of the game so far. It was the third inning where Spartans put 7 on the board to take an 8-2 lead, and they didn't look back. A lot quieter here, as actually we were still 2-1 entering that inning. Now it's just still a 1-0 Spartan lead. Good news for the Spartans, though. Lala gets an early advantage in the first at-bat. Fouled this one off, and that one's going to be a souvenir. Through a hole in the netting. That one's close and inside. Forced Lala to back off. And it's ball 4. Lala works the leadoff walk. Spartans have been doing a good job staying disciplined, getting base runners. Earhart got aboard with a single and was the only run scorer to open up the game. He's got Lala on first, and the question is he going to drop a bunt? Embry Riddle's ready for it. James is playing a little shallow. Pickoff attempt. Lala is safe. They're also going to be aggressive, I think, in holding up Lala. They know he's a base stealing threat. On the season, Lala has 11. Leading the team by 7 in that category. Only Jose Cadenas is behind him with 4. This one's sent high. It's not going to be deep enough, but if there's a miscommunication, it could drop. It doesn't. One away. It's a good hit, but just wasn't, I think, on the line hard enough to beat the gap. Enough that can hold an Urso home run ball? That's a question, and there probably is. Mountains are usually a bit larger than MLB stadiums. One away, runner aboard. And another pickoff throw on Lala, making sure he's safe. And another throw to check on Lala, and he's back in time. And again, I don't think it's going to be the last time we'll see a pickoff, and I don't think that's the last time we'll see Lala during this at-bat. I know he's ready to go for a steal. This one's high and inside to Urso. 2-0. Actually, I think that was the first pitch of the at-bat. Whoops. I can tell you, I think, just how much Lala is kind of in Moran's head, and that's exactly, I think, what the Spartans want. Get Moran a bit uneasy about the base stealing threat at first. And now he's falling behind against Urso, where you have a very dangerous E.J. Dosco waiting in the wing. You don't want to walk a batter and then have to face Dosco with a runner in scoring position, as that's where it's even more risky to then walk him. And that's something that they've done a few times. Urso gets this one into the gap. That's the hit Earhart was looking for, and the Spartans will take a 2-0 lead. It's a standing double for Urso, and Lala can just jog home. As Sam mentioned in the previous game, that's the stanky leg They're bringing it back, and Urso bringing in his 27th RBI. Here's DJ Dosco. He had a sac fly back in the first. Would be too far for a sac fly on Urso, but if he took one into the outfield, Urso could definitely make it around the base paths. Urso is very much a player with a lot of ability and a lot of things. Hit the ball, he can field well, he can run. Type of player that's good at pretty much everything. You want to know Dosco. Pickoff throw, and Urso's safe. Fouled away, it's 1-1. And you notice they weren't holding Urso at second on that pitch. They are for a little while, but moving a little bit later. I think a reason why they just wanted to see if they could catch Urso off guard. I don't think he's going to try to steal third base. That would be pretty dangerous. I don't think Coach Urso would be that risky. Here's the 1-1. That one goes inside, and Dosco takes a free base. I don't think there's any beef between Embry, Riddle, and Tampa, but we've seen a few hit-by pitches today. I think you chalk those more up to skill issues rather than them being upset. And again, Tampa wasn't necessarily like stat padding in their win. They were pretty quiet in the final few innings, and they even pinch hit all their players. No Spartan was really pimping a 3-0 home run. So, you can definitely tell it's not a rivalry, nothing, just, whoops, fastball got a little too far inside. 1-0 for Garavito. He went down looking on a very tough pitch in the first inning. Garavito has been a pretty good player for the Spartans this season. High ball 2. And now we're going to see the pitching coach come out, not too happy with those straight balls. And at this point, I think we'll also see someone stretch and toss in Embry Riddle's bullpen. I mean, at this stage, you just want to be careful. You want to avoid what happened last time and really put your team in a bad spot. It's not going to be his day done. They don't have any. Two 2-0. This time Lance a slider over the zone. That's an important pitch to fight back in the at-bat. Tough batters on deck, but putting the situation in 2 outs I think would be very beneficial for Embry Riddle. Spartans, I know they'd love Garavito to try to get this offense going. They already scored 1 run. They'd like to score another. I think that was called for a strike, if I'm not mistaken. So I believe it is 2-2. No, okay, 3-2. So we actually had a phantom pitch. Because it was a 2-0 count when he stopped the game. And we had the pitching conference. We then saw a slider outside or slider on the low corner that was called for strike 1. And then this one called for strike 2. So it's not 3-2, it's 2-2. There we go. They do fix it now, and the umpire, I think, realized the quick mistake when he flashed the 3-2 count. And, they're going to call a balk. You don't always see that, but you do have to be careful on the mound. If you're making a direct movement to hold a runner, you have to be very direct with it. You also can't just step off and not do that throw. I'm pretty sure it may have been the latter since I saw Moran do something similar. So now the runner's advanced. Double play is gone. Infield all the way in. Garavito fouls this one off. Oh, and that one misses inside. That's an ouch right there. I think with some ice, potentially, when he gets back to the dugout, Garavito should be fine. If they do need to pull him, Gutcher has been hitting well, so no stress in that regard either. Bases are loaded, one away for Anthony Nunez. And I definitely know that wasn't the pitch Moran wanted. We saw Nunez with the bases loaded in the bottom of the third in the previous game. Difference was there was no outs, I believe, in that spot. Nunez worked a walk, and that started a massive chain of offense for the Spartans. Are we going to see some deja vu? This is when I was literally coming right back from doing the commentary for lacrosse, and I was watching Nunez walking a run. This time the Spartans are in the lead. Nunez almost gave them a larger lead. That was a hard hit ball, but it goes right to the bullpen where it's actually still empty. So they're going to be trusting Moran. A little actually surprising not to see anyone stretching at all here. But Moran's been pretty good this season for Embry Riddle, and clearly he does have the coach of Coach Stegel. Strike two taken on a low slider. Spartans do have another chance after this if there's no double play. It would be E.J. Cumbo on deck. All outs are forced outs at this stage. So if there's a ground ball in the infield, they have plenty of places they can go to try to get two away. Outside, and that was similar to the pitch that ended the previous first inning with Garavito. 2-2 here. And he's got him. That's the second strikeout of the game from Moran. And one more strikeout, and the fire would be put out. But Cumbo, he wants to be the firewood for the Spartans and build up another gap. I think I've mentioned a few times, the Spartans have done a lot of run scoring this season. And in the series, they've already put 24 runs on the board. This one gets away, but it also bounces onto the field of play. If it goes behind, Urso could have gotten home, but no shot there. Maybe a little bit of a breath of fresh air for Kenny Davis. See the ball get away from you, but you realize it's in the right direction and in a place where it's not going to lead to a run coming home. 1-0 for Cumbo. Fouled it back, and it's 1-1. Almost caught there by Rodriguez as he's getting ready on deck. He's got a sign he likes. Here's the 1-1. This time gets the outside corner. It's 1-2 to E.J. Cumbo. He's liked that backdoor slider, and it has worked well against lefty hitters, like the switch hitting Nunez and Cumbo, and even Jordan Lala. The 1-2 to Cumbo. Cumbo rips this up the middle. Spartans will take a third run, and Dosco is held up as that ball was being thrown in. I probably would have beaten Dosco on the way to the plate. Would have been close, and Urso doesn't want to risk. He gives Rodriguez a chance, and the base is loaded, and Cumbo stays hot with a nice RBI single. Cumbo leads the team in his average, and that's his 18th RBI of the season. And I have to say, to have a hitter like that going 7th is a very nice luxury indeed. It's two-way, bases stay loaded, and the Spartans now lead 3-0. Let's see if Luis Rodriguez can put something in play here. He's going to take this fastball down the middle, strike one. As Ted Williams said, it's always good to see on a fastball so you know the speed, you know the timing. This one fouled back, and it's 0-2 now. That's the start of the at-bat you want if you're Moran, and some of the Embry Riddle faithful that have made the trip are liking that. (0-2). Ripped hard down the line, and it is fair. 1 run scores, 2 run scores. They are going to stop Cumbo at third. They were almost going to send him. That probably would have been a bad idea. I think Cumbo would have been out. But Rodriguez capitalizes to the 2 RBI double. He's in standing. Spartans lead 5-0. Jamarcus Lyons had a hard line drive right to left field in his previous at-bat. He could keep the Spartans' lead growing here and keep this inning alive. He's got 2 aboard, and those runners will be going with 2 outs. Lyons chatting with Roberto Knox Reyes to open up the at-bat. Bullpen's still empty for Embry Riddle, so if Moran can get out of this, he's definitely going to get the green light for the 4th inning. And again, he hasn't looked bad so far. Just some unlucky hitting, I think, and the Spartans have brought home 5 runs on 6 hits. In the dirt, ball 1. What I will say, for Skylar Gonzalez, this is great news for him. He was in a tough spot in the top of the 3rd where 2 runners were in scoring position, and this will give him more confidence as he's getting ready for his 4th inning. And a bit more breathing room now. 2-0, this slider missing way up high. Of course, Embry Riddle can't make another pitching conference. They used it at the start of the inning. If to go out again, they would have to pull him from the game. And again, they haven't been warming anyone up. 2-0. Fouled back. Embry Riddle also used a lot of pitchers in the previous game. That could be another reason that, being a little more conservative. They don't have a game until Wednesday, but you don't want to tax your bullpen too much in that time frame. This one's going to bounce off the glove. It's a 6-0 lead for the Spartans. And Cumbo makes it home. It's a 3-1 count for Lyons. That certainly should be a wild pitch. You're worried that with a few of those pitches missing that would happen. Bounce the wrong way for Kenny Davis. Foul back again, full count. Beautiful Saturday afternoon. Clear sky. Sun shining down. You can see the shadows creeping onto the field. very close ball for. And Moran, he was looking for a second, hoping that that was going to be a late call, like the ones you normally see for Tampa softball, but nope. Just missed. Here comes Jordan Lala. He now has runners to the corners. Jamarcus Lyons at first. Luis Rodriguez at second. Let's see if Lala can get the crowd singing more with a 2-out hit. He's 0 for 1 today. He was up earlier and scored on a walk. The Spartans have got through the entire order this inning. Another big third inning explosion. One and one here for Lala. 14 RBIs for him on the season. 15 on third, 16 on first. Fouled back, 1 and 2. We do see someone finally heading over to the bullpen for Embry Riddle. But again, they'll just be stretching and tossing for now. Can only be called in if there's an emergency. .5:23 p.m. here at the University of Tampa. Only about an hour and 10 through this game. And is that another hit by pitch? It is. That's the third time it's happened. And obviously, again, it's not a beef between Embry Riddle and Tampa. It's just skill issues all around. Moran could be seeing some signs of fatigue as the bases are loaded here for Drew Earhart. I said this last game, and I'll keep saying it. Carson Queso, his pick for his most feared batter with a really high leverage spot, well, it's got to be Drew Earhart, and he has been clutch. He did get a single earlier, although he did fly out in his most previous at-bat. It was a well-hit ball, but too much air and not enough time to get down and beat the outfielders in the gap. 0-1. We'll see if Earhart, in his second at-bat of the inning, can keep it alive. In the dirt, 1-1. And again, thank you for tuning in. Spartans women's basketball will be playing later tonight in the NCAA Regionals. That's going on the entire weekend here in the University of Tampa. Cross finished up earlier today. They won 19-5. 19-4, I believe. A big win for Coach J.B. Clark's boys. Spartan Sports doing really well in the spring, and baseball is no exception. Off to a big lead here. 2-1 now for Drew Earhart. Taken on the outside corner, 2-2. And this would be a crucial strikeout for Moran. But at this stage, you would speculate his day is probably done after this inning, especially with the pitcher now actively warming up. Two-two. Foul back, Earhart protecting and staying alive. J.D. Urso would be on deck. He had an RBI earlier in the inning. It kick-started this surge of offense from the Spartans. Swung on and missed. That's a crucial strikeout from Moran, and the side is retired. Spartans strand, the base is loaded, but damage is already done. They scored 5 in the inning to get to a 6-0 lead. We'll be back with more on TampaSpartans.tv. Embry Riddle currently trailing. And while it is a pretty big gap, they've got plenty of time. They got 5 full innings. And they're just going to need the offense to try to beat Skylar Gonzalez. He's gotten out of a few jams already. 54 pitches through 3 innings. Coach Urso may be ready to make a change, though, eventually. I don't think anyone's warming up, but again, there's a little more leeway for the Spartans. They didn't use too many pitchers in the previous game. And they'll have 3 days rest, so any relievers would probably be all set for the upcoming game later this week. Leading off his post, and he finds himself down 0-2 immediately on 2 called strikes. This one missing outside, ball 1. Post had a single his last time out. That was one of 2 hits that Embry Riddle got. But this time he's going to strike out on the off speed. A good slider there, 1 away. Vittoria steps up. Strike 1? No, that's actually going to be ball 1. It looked like it went right down the middle. Maybe just too high crossing over the plate. That one, easier to call. Too far inside, 2-0. So far, 3 walks for Gonzalez, but he's been able to keep the runners from scoring when they've gone aboard. This one's a pop fly. Earhart makes the play in shallow right. 2 away quickly. Embry Riddle now will have Britton at the plate trying to keep this inning alive. Britton's 0 for 1. See what the lefty sophomore can do here. He grounded out to Nunez in his previous at-bat. Takes ball 1. Ball 4. Britton works the walk, and that's going to bring up James with 2 away. Quick conclusion for that at-bat. This at-bat will also start with ball 1. That's 5 straight balls here from Skylar Gonzalez. Just needs to find one over the zone if the ump likes. That was one that James liked, but he's going to send that one far foul, and good catch over there by one of the fans. We have netting all behind home plate, but it is possible to hit it across and by the dugout and for it to ricochet back onto the fans. Earhart tracking back and makes the catch to end the inning. Pretty painless apart from the walk. Tampa stays strong. We enter the bottom of the 4th with a 6-0 lead.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can. And then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive to achieve every goal we aim for because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
And we are back. This one taken outside as the warm-up continues. And I will have to say, I believe it's still Moran on the mound. I could be mistaken. I would need to see if there's an update. It looks like that's a 3 in part of that number. The texture on the number isn't very readable. It's a blue number on a blue shirt. It does have a white outline. And by the way, this is another segment of Taylor Storthy ranting about jersey numbers because they're hard to read from the press box. Anyway, opening the inning, J.D. Urso didn't have a chance to get the bases loaded. Sadly, Drew Earhart struck out after a tough fight. But Urso, a good day so far. He's 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. And indeed it is Moran continuing. This would be double number 3 if it wasn't right to Marinello, 1 away. A well-hit ball, though, to bring up E.J. Dosko. Dosko hasn't had an official at-bat. He had a sac fly back in the first inning. That gave the Spartans the lead. He was then hit by a pitch in the third, where he would later score. That's a check swing foul ball. Is it playable? It drops for foul ball, but it was close. Good effort from Post. Almost got in the way of the bullpen session as there is a player warming up for the Eagles. Oh, 0-1 to Dosko. Oh, that one's going to be hit deep center field. Britton's under it, 2 away. Oi, oi, oi. We heard some people singing along to that walk-up song that Santiago Garavito has last time. 0 for 1 today. But he was hit by a pitch and would later score. Back in the third. Fouled away, 0-1. Ran a lot better this inning. I think it's tough to respond after conceding 5, but he's done just that, forcing 2 quick flyouts. They were well hit, but hit and play. And here's another one. That was well hit, but right to Traficante. And that ends the inning. 1, 2, 3. The Spartans go down in order. They still lead by 6 as we enter the 5th inning.
I pledge to...
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Dalton Ross takes the mound. That'll end Skylar Gonzalez's day. Skylar did a good job. 68 pitches, 2 strikeouts, only surrendered 2 hits, 4 walks, but he got out of the jam every single time. And now everyone's favorite sidearm reliever comes in for another outing. He's had more outings on the road this season than at home, but he's done pretty good. 9 innings pitched in 6 games. 9 strikeouts, just 2 walks and 2 earned. He'll be tasked with going an inning or 2 here, helping set up the Spartans for success. He's got a nice little comfortable lead. That'll help him as he is going to face the big 3 for Embry Riddle. Traficante, the home run leader and leadoff man. Marinello and Kennedy Davis will follow suit. I think I already mentioned it, but again, need a reminder who's in the field. Lyons in left, Lala in center, Cumbo in right, Nunez at third, Urso at short, Earhart at first, Dusko at first. Earhart is at second. Garavito forms the battery with the new pitcher, Dalton Ross. Here's the first pitch. This one's grounded, gets by Ross over to Urso. Oh! Couldn't keep it up. And it was a good try to get it out of the turf, but just bounces off of Dalton Ross, or bounces off of Dusko's glove. So that'll be an opening base runner for Dalton Ross. It will be judged an error, I think, on Urso's part. That'll be the first error of the game for the Spartans. And yeah, indeed it'll be an error on Urso. It was a good play, but throw not perfect. This one in the dirt, Garavito stays on top. Inside, and they're going to say that he went 1-1. This time the sinker misses, 2-1. I think he was trying to get a swing and miss that time. This one popped, and that's going to be called a foul ball. Ross was ready to try to get the out at first, and Traficante was zooming to second. Ross specializes with a sinker and slider, and that's a very deadly combo, especially for right-handed batters from that sidearm slot. It's a little bit easier against lefty batters to see than for righties because it is harder to tell. See it a little faster coming that side. The worst type of weird arm slot platoon facing is if you've got a lefty submarine pitcher or sidearm pitcher against a lefty batter. That's where pitches could look 3 to 4 miles an hour faster instead of the standard 1 to 2 from that side. This time the sinker misses high. It's ball 4 and 2 aboard for Dalton Ross with no one out. The main 3 bags are open, so there could be a quick force out. And I know that that Ross would love to just get a ground ball and get at least maybe that out at second or third, or even just an out at first. Get him 1 out to alleviate some damage. Here's Kennedy Davis. Kennedy Davis pops this up to Dalton Ross, and they will double him up. Traficante took off a little too early. Marinello was back plenty of time. So 2 outs off of 1 pitch. A great grab by Dalton Ross. And there's now 2 away for Aracena. So things were looking good for Embry Riddle. But the Spartans will catch a lucky break on the line drive. Fouled away, 0-1. Wow. Great play there for Dalton Ross. Here's Aracena. And he is a switch hitter. So he can go from the left or right side. That's just what he prefers. Generally do want to go lefty against a righty pitcher. 1-1. This one's grounded up the middle. It hits off Dalton Ross. And he's just going to hold on to it. He couldn't make the catch that time. So 2 aboard now. Every single batter has hit a ball right to Dalton Ross or right by Dalton Ross. First was Traficante, a grounder up the middle that was picked up by Urso, but the throw wasn't perfect. Second was a line drive that was earned 2, and the third one hits off of Dalton Ross. The good news is he's okay as he faces Josh Reynolds. 2 on, 2 out again. Spartans have a 6-run lead, so it's a pretty safe lead if a run or 2 comes home, but obviously you want to try to keep Embry Riddle quiet for longer. Good swing and a miss. 0-2 early to Reynolds. He's been struggling with a flyout and ground out to start the game. And he's got him. The sinker gets strike 3. Great work by Dalton Ross to turn too early, and a strikeout after a couple plays gets him out of the inning. Tampa still leads 6-0. You're watching Tampa Spartans TV. And we are back. I believe that is officially the day for Moran. Unless he is warming up here. I think actually maybe. So yeah, no, Moran is back. The reason was we had a pretty quick 4th inning. So they're going to give him a chance to keep going. He could get a quality start out of this. It's on 81 pitches, but again, save the bullpen. And with a few days break, could try to keep him out longer. We'll just need to get some quick outs here. And the first batter who's going to need to sit down will be Anthony Nunez. Nunez was aboard in the 2nd inning with a walk, struck out in the 3rd inning. Swung on and missed, strike 1. One and one, that one just goes low. One and two. Nunez stays alive and fouls it off. That one lands on the dugout and behind it. Kenny Davis was trying to frame that, but, well, you need a massive window to try to get that in the zone. It was pretty far outside. 2-2 to Nunez. Popped up and back, and, well, Nunez stays alive. I think that's all you can ask. Keeping the at-bat. Cumbo and Rodriguez due up. Strike three, goes down looking. That landed just on the low half of the zone. Here comes EJ Cumbo. For Moran, that's his 4th strikeout of the game. Cumbo holds up 1-0. Popped up. And despite the effort from James, it's going to be in foul territory and off the net. Current line scores: no runs on 3 hits with no errors from Embry Riddle, 6 runs on 6 hits and an error for the Spartans. Notably, Embry Riddle have actually stranded 8 runners on base. 2-1. With runners on, Embry Riddle is 1 for 12. With runners in scoring position, they're 0 for 8. Cumbo grounds this one, and it's going to get through. Post made a dive, but couldn't pick it up. 1 aboard with 1 away for Luis Rodriguez. Entering the series against the Spartans, Embry Riddle took a 11-3 win against Davenport. They also won the series 2-1 against USC Aiken. They did have a Game 2 loss of 0-2, but came back in Game 3 to win in 10 innings. We already mentioned they'll be back home facing Purdue Northwest on Wednesday. That'll be a doubleheader. For the Spartans, it'll be on Tuesday. They face off against Valdosta State, a team that, funny enough, Embry Riddle has actually faced 4 times this year. Embry Riddle is only 1 for 3 against them. By the way, for that recent pitch that looked like it was over the zone, but the sliders like that haven't always been strikes. 2-0. That time it's a strike, 2-1. Rodriguez has a single and double today. He's just a triple and home run shy of the cycle. Pickoff attempt and Cumbo's safe. Cumbo is a player who definitely can steal a base. He's also very much well-rounded. Can do it all, gets on base, can steal some bases. He's a good defender. Very good player. Ripped foul. Could have been dangerous if it stayed fair. In the dirt, Kennedy Davis recovers and is on top of it. Tampa overall against Embry Riddle is 14-10. Well, make it 15-10 if you count the earlier version of Embry Riddle that they faced back in 1978. This one's going to be ripped deep to left field, but it's going to be caught, so Rodriguez won't find the base at this time. 2 away, runner on first. Jamarcus Lyons gets another chance. This one popped up. Should end the inning. Does the sun get in the way? Yes, it does. They couldn't see it. The Spartans will take a 7-0 lead Lions sliding into second. And that is a double. And that will probably be a center fielding error. No, they're going to count it as a hit. But just interesting. Britton and Marinello both not able to find it in the outfield. And that brings up Jordan Lala when the runner aboard. And TJ Palma, I assume, is going to come in. Or maybe Jose Cadenas. There will be a pitching change, though. That's one big thing. There should also be a pinch running change, it looks like. So we'll get you those two changes. We'll be back in just 30 seconds.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Gunnar Harrison enters the game. He'll be tasked with getting a relief outing here. He's had 1 start, 8 appearances, 23 innings, 11 strikeouts, and 7 walks. I think we'll also get a pinch runner for the Spartans. My guess is going to be Jose Cadenas at second. I think the reason, just to be careful, you see Lions a little slower to get up after the slide on his double. Either way, Lions will be happy to pick up that RBI and keep the inning going to bring up the top of the order. Lala with a few practice swings as he gets ready. And indeed, Jose Cadenas is in the game as a pinch runner. He'll be up in center field. Lala will shift over to left. That has now occurred. Coach Urso likes it. See what Lala does here. Infield's kind of back. If Lala wanted to try something fun, he could try to drop a bunt on the first pitch. Now the third baseman's coming in. Ball 1 taken low. Lala drew a walk and was hit by a pitch last time. He's 0 for 1 and is true at bats. He's ready for his 4th plate appearance. Takes that one outside. And Lala, I think, will be taking all the way until Harrison proves he can throw a strike here. Especially since there have been command issues all day for Embry Riddle's pitchers. The only exception has been Moran. He's done better at finding the zone than anyone else. And even he had a couple hit by pitches. And that is, I think, going to be a balk. Or no, they're just going to reset the pitch. There was time called beforehand, so we still stay at 2-0. It should be 2-0 still. Trying to pick off Cadenas, but he is back safe. It's a good idea from Vittoria, though. No, they're actually going to rule that they... Okay, no, they're going to rule a balk now. All right, so that 10 things happened fast. There was a pickoff attempt, but that was ruled a balk, so Cadenas gets to third. This one's strike 1 called for Lala, and I'm going to have to wait and see what the umpire shows. It could be 3-1, otherwise it would be 2-1. He's quickly going for the next pitch, maybe trying to disrupt the rhythm. Very fast to get set. 3-2. That's ball 4, so Lala stays alive. That's a good idea from Harrison, though. He'd been a little slower on the previous ones. So now he was going faster. In the MLB, we've got the pitch clock, of course. And you can be pretty fast. You can catch batters off guard. One such pitcher that was doing that was Wandy Peralta, the Yankees reliever. He had a he had a full at-bat and strikeout, and at the same time it took Padres pitcher Pedro Baez in a playoff game to throw a single pitch, throw it to second, and Cadenas scores from third. They execute the 1-2 stolen base perfectly. The throw was very shallow from Kennedy Davis, and Cadenas was making it home. It's an 8-0 Spartans lead and a man in scoring position for Drew Earhart. He's 1 for 3 today. He had a single back in the first. Runners in scoring position. Spartans are .400. That's the same as their batting average for the game. Fouled away. It's 0-2 now, as I think the first pitch was called strike 1 on Earhart. Shadows creeping further onto the field. 0-2 here. That is another hit by pitch. I think there's been more in the game of hit by pitches than walks. Hits at a not bad spot for Earhart if it does sting. An ice pack in the dugout would probably fix him. 2 outs, 2 aboard for J.D. Urso. And again, seeing all this happening, that's certainly not what Randy Stegall and the rest of the coaching staff wants to see. 2 away, 2 aboard. J.D. Urso is 2 for 3. It'll probably be 2 for 4, as this one should be caught in center field by Britton. And he does come up with it. That ends the inning. Spartans score 2 more. They lead 8-0 as we enter the top of the 6th inning. Up and down the boulevard, Dalton Ross is warming up once again. Yeah, Dalton Ross will be leading off the top of the 6th inning. It's an 8-0 Spartans lead. Sometimes it's fun to sing along with the pre-inning songs. It's been a fun day for the Spartans, except for the multiple hit-by-pitches their batters have had. It's going to be Post leading off for the Eagles. He's 1 for 2 with a single. He struck out last time. 3 for 18 is the batting stats for Embry Riddle so far. Not great on the day. They've been kept scoreless since the 3rd inning in the previous game. At this stage, the Spartans have scored 8 plus 16, or no, not 16, 15 unanswered runs, so 23 have come home from the Spartans in that span. Dalton Ross just missing. It's 2-1. See a little action in the Spartans bullpen. Ross hasn't been in the game for long, so he should be fine for a bit longer, but just in case, they will have someone ready. This one ripped to center field. Well, you can call it a jinx if that one went about 15 feet longer. Out number 1 here. It definitely had some power and a bit of run, but not enough to clear the yard. And it's definitely not windy right now, and the reason is because you cannot see the American flag waving in the background. That's when you can tell it is very much not windy. Maybe the flag is just down. I actually can't fully tell. Swung on and missed by Vittoria, strike 1. Out and over in right field, I think outside of the view of the camera is the American flag that we always look to for the national anthem. It's also a good indicator of how windy the field is. 0-2, fooling him with a slider. Vittoria is 0 for 2 with a ground out and fly out. Close to a pop out, but I believe it did go deeper into the outfield or hard track back. Beats him with a sinker. And that one was very far out of the zone. Fooled him completely. 2 away. That brings up Riddle. He's 0 for 1 today. Gone on with a walk, but couldn't get any further than that. Sinker gets across for strike 1. Really good stuff so far from Dalton Ross, looking to complete a second inning here in relief. Just misses the zone with a slider. Wanted to go backdoor. Grounded to Earhart. Good diving grab. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. That was not an easy play. And Earhart made it look somewhat effortless. Bottom of the 6th coming up right after this.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can. And then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
E.J. Dosco takes strike 1 to open the bottom of the 6th. Sack fly and a hit by pitch and a fly out have been his game so far. I'd say he's certainly due for a hit. He's actually hitless today, but for that exact reason, he's actually had 4 free bases and only 1 technical out. But that is going to be out number 2, as that one is strike 3 down the middle. He goes down looking. Here comes Garavito. Harrison with a quick start to sit down the strongest Spartan hitter on 3 straight pitches. Not an easy thing to do. Garavito 0 for 2 today. He's also definitely due for a hit. Takes this one outside, ball 1. Struck out looking in the first. Lined out in the 4th. Scored when he was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Harrison with a walk and strikeout. He also had a ball in play to end the previous inning. This one grounded to short. Picked up on a rough slide. The throw is just in time. A great play by Vittoria. 2 away in the bottom of the 6th. That was a well-hit grounder by Garavito, but Vittoria makes a sliding grab, and I'm not really sure how, but he made a great throw to beat Garavito at first. That'll bring up Anthony Nunez with 2 away. We did see a fielding error earlier from Embry Riddle that wasn't counted as an error. That's the type of play that I know Coach Stegel loves to see. This one taken for Nunez. This one swung on and missed. Have to wait and see. I believe it'll be 1-1 potentially. Doesn't matter what the count is. This one's ripped up the middle. Nunez keeps the inning alive with a single. That'll bring up E.J. Cumbo. I know Nunez will be happy with that. That's his first hit today. Cumbo already has a couple. A single and another single. Cumbo has scored twice on his hits. He's got Nunez at first. Will Nunez try to steal again? I think he was caught one of the last times he was on base. This one's chopped very shallow to first. And that's going to be an easy tag to end the inning. Spartans get a hit, but that's all. Another quick inning from Harrison. And we will be entering the top of the 7th. Spartans still leading by 8. New pitcher on for the Spartans. Dalton Ross's day will be done after 2 innings. Jack Brodsky enters the game. 6 innings, 6 appearances, 7 strikeouts. He's only allowed 1 run, and that was unearned. He'll be tasked here, innings 7, maybe even a bit longer than that. But a good outing from Dalton Ross. 2 innings, just 1 hit and 1 walk allowed. Embry Riddle has been kept quiet, and they might be hoping that they can try to break Brodsky. But he's done pretty good this season. Due up for Embry Riddle is going to be James, Traficante, and Marinello. The trio are combined 1 for 5. Only Marinello has the hit. That was his only true at-bat. James leading off as a strikeout and a pop-out today. I think this will be the final warm-up for Brodsky before we get underway. So James at the plate. He's going to be the first opponent for Brodsky. Taken low, ball 1. 1-1. Garavito getting really low with his stance, just resting on one knee. It's gotten more popular, and actually he's actually shifted up the stance. Nope, he's back there. An interesting position, and it might potentially help him get those lower strike calls a little more often. But also, again, stance is all about comfort, so it's probably the way he feels most comfortable. Behind the plate, here's the 1-2. He gets him biting in the dirt. Even though it gets away from him, he applies the tag and gets the throw to first. 1 away. Good slider there by Brodsky to fool him. And notice as well, he took an entirely different stance on that strike 2 call. Interesting there. Trafficante at the plate. He leads Embry Riddle with 4 home runs this season. He did get a walk and also got on with an error last time. He's hitting the ball hard. And I know it's going to be what Coach Stegel would love for him to do. Of course, Randy and Chuck, brothers on the same coaching staff. Well, brothers argue about a lot of things. You can ask me because I have a brother and we argue on a lot of things. They'll be agreeing that they want to see Trafficante get the offense going. 1-1 here for Embry Riddle's number 1 with 1 out. And Spartans shifting, I think, as much as they legally can. You see Urso close to the second base bag. Second base and first base, Dosco and Earhart playing far to the right. You know, Trafficante is hitting that actually the opposite way. Very deep foul for Dalton Ross to go out and get. Still has the energy to go pick up the foul balls, even with his outing finished. And again, if you just missed it or tuning in late, Dalton Ross came in and had 2 shutdown innings from the bullpen. Swung on and missed, and fouled into himself. Missed the barrel, but hits himself. It's 1-2-3 due up here with Embry Riddle. Might not see 3 unless they do get a base runner, though. Outside, and Trafficante staying in the fight. Brodsky probably thinking what he needs to do to get the strikeout, or get any out. He got a strikeout previously against Marinello. It's harder against a switch hitter, especially when they're facing a lefty. That was a 75-foot pitch there. Full count. This one ripped to center field. It is going to get down in front of Cadenas. 1 on, 1 away. Marinello back up. Double play opportunity will be open. But a good at bat from Trafficante to stay alive and get on base. That one's low for ball 1. 2 walks and a single. Marinello has reached every base except for home. Pickoff attempt. Couldn't get him. Kennedy Davis on deck. Barring a double play, he will get a chance this inning. If not, it would be him leading off next inning. Aracena. Also out of the dugout, ready to go. He would be after Kennedy Davis. 2-1. That's ball 3, taken low. Marinello might be able to get on base here. Take all the way and lands in the zone for strike 1. Swung on and missed. The count is full, and Brodsky battling back. And he gets him. Great stuff from Brodsky to get the swing and miss on the full count. That's an important pitch because you get 2 runners aboard and Embry Riddle and start to really fantasize about getting that offense going. But now, we put him in a tough spot with 2 outs. Made Brodsky's job a lot easier. Still has to beat Kennedy Davis, though. Ball 1 taken. Gone on with a fielder's choice. But with that, he's 0 for 3. I believe in the previous inning, he actually lined out, or back in the 5th, he lined out to Dalton Ross into a double play. 1-1 taken on the outside corner. Taken 1-2. Kennedy Davis, I think, nodding in agreement there. It was a close one, but I think just got in the zone. Fouled away. Kennedy Davis staying alive. .620. And of course, it'll be interesting to see what the clocks are doing tomorrow. I believe we get to switch with daylight savings time. So, sleep schedules could be thrown up a little bit here. 1-2. In the dirt, he holds up. It's 2-2. And he's got him looking. Strike 3. Brodsky strikes out the side, only conceding a hit. Another great start to an outing from the bullpen for Brodsky. And we'll be back at the bottom of the 7th inning stretch. I'll take a stretch, and you should too. We'll be back after this. We're back at the University of Tampa Stadium. It's been a long day, but it's going to go a bit longer here. Gunnar Harrison continuing on the mound. He's been good so far in his appearance. strikeout, a hit, and a walk. No runners gone all the way around. Tampa would like to change that. Luis Rodriguez, Jose Cadenas, Jordan Lala. They are the ones due up for the Spartans. Rodriguez today, 2 for 3. He's having a good day with a single and a double. Flew out in his previous at-bat. Inside, we almost saw yet another hit by pitch on the Spartans. If we take a look on the stat sheet in total, we've seen 4 hit batters for Tampa in this game. And we saw a few last game, too. And again, there's no outstanding beef between these teams. We haven't seen any issues in the base paths or any issues from the dugouts. It's just a couple bad pitches and lack of control from time to time. Rodriguez gets this into the gap. It will be extra bases. The throw-in won't be in time. A leadoff double with a nice-looking slide and a cha-cha. Cadenas, I think I can already game plan what Urso's planning. Bunt and run to first. Get Rodriguez to third if possible. And all I have to say is this is something that Cadenas is quite good at. He knows how to be fast in the base paths. Type of player you'll love as a coach because when he puts the ball in play, he makes every play entertaining because you don't know whether he's going to be safe or out. Routine grounders turn into being out by only maybe a step or half a step. So definitely watch for him to drop a bunt on this first pitch. No, instead he's going to line it to left, so ignore my advice. Runners are at the corners with no one out. By the way, now I imagine they might send Cadenas to second, try to do what they did earlier when they sent Lala to second, baited the throw, and scored from third. That's how they scored the 8th run of the ball game. Back in the 5th inning, may be able to do the same. They will also probably be very much checking on Cadenas at first. Here's Lala. Takes his first pitch outside. Cadenas saw that first pitch and liked it. Oh, not so much. Lala has only had one true at bat. He flew out on the first inning. Ever since then, he was walked, hit by a pitch, and then walked. Kind of doing basically what E.J. Dosco did with 3 straight free bases. Helps his on-base percentage. 1-0. This one gets through. It's a 9-0 Spartans lead. Runners at first and second. Cadenas actually trying for 3. And he is out by a mile. Cadenas has been risky in the base path before. And one time it did work. During a weekend series, I believe it was against Georgia College. He stole second. The throw to second wasn't on time, so he tried to get to third. That throw was very offline, and he gets home. Going from first to home in one play. But Cadenas a little too risky that time. Here goes Lala, and that one gets away. Lala almost could have gotten to third if he stayed standing, but obviously you're going to slide in. You're not sure if Kennedy Davis gets the throw off. 1-0. Lala on second. And of course, on that previous play, even though Cadenas was out at third, Rodriguez scored. It's a 9-0 Spartan lead. Earhart swings. He went around that time. It's 1-1. Earhart, a tough day, but he did get a hit last time. 0-2, actually. The first pitch was a strike. Wasn't inputted that way at first. But I did remember the umpire, I think, calling it as a strike. Earhart fouls this one off himself. That'll sting. He was hit by a pitch back in the 5th. He was out twice in the 3rd and singled in the 1st. Urso on deck. Would have a chance unless we see a similar double play to what happened with Dalton Ross. The 0-2 for Earhart. In the dirt, 1-2. 293 average, 396 on base percentage, 360 slugging, 6 strikeouts to 9 walks. And with this game, that's 7 strikeouts, but he has an extra hit by pitch to go with that. So he knows how to avoid strikeouts. This one fouled back. See someone warming up for Embry Riddle, and that's not a surprise. Harrison's been in here for a little while. He'll probably be at 30 pitches at the end of this at-bat. And again, we don't know how long he can go. You have a good idea for a lot of the Spartan relievers. We're watching them day in and day out. Of course, only Stegel would know for Embry Riddle. Inside, ball 2, almost grazed him, but just misses. Zerhard backs up a bit. 2-2 for the Spartans, number 2. This one's grounded to short. And Lala's just going to back up to second. Out by a safe distance. Post had to make a big grab on that, but comes up with it. Here comes J.D. Urso. Urso batting third, and well, the reason, because you know he's a pretty good hitter. He's also 2 for 4 today. Takes this one low for ball 1. Hitless since the third. Had 2 opening doubles, where he also brought home 2 RBIs. He'd have a chance for RBI number 3 for his third hit here. That's if he can put it in play. Foul back, it's 1-1. Sunset won't be too long now. You can already see the skyline shifting in color slightly. And that'll continue as time passes. Probably be too late for any chance of a light show in the later innings. Urso staying alive, it's 1-2. A little bit of wind again. It's still pretty light. Urso goes in the dirt, and that'll end the inning. Kennedy Davis makes the tag on the dropped third strike, and that ends the inning. Tampa gets a runner, but that's all. We're entering the top of the 8th right after this. Top of the 8th. Brodsky ready to resume on the mound. But instead, it's actually not Brodsky. Looked from a distance like 18, but no, it's actually number 23, Paul Sullivan. 13 innings pitched this season. He's had 6 appearances from the bullpen. He'll likely be tasked with the final 2 innings. He's gone 2 innings pretty much on average in his appearances. He's done a good job so far. He's going to be facing the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Embry Riddle. Leading up is Timo Aracena. See how Sullivan can do to start out. See a couple lights now turning on over here. University of Tampa Stadium. Slider down the middle for strike 1. Again, still a really nice day. Not a cloud in the sky, only a few in the distance. 1-1 as this one misses outside. Strike 2 taken. A big thing today is that Embry Riddle hasn't had an extra base hit. Tampa have done a good job of preventing batters from going the extra bases, and that's a reason they've kept them scoreless. Big strikeout there. Got him looking rather foolish, I'd say, as Arcena completely fooled by the slider. Josh Reynolds steps up. He's 0 for 3. Struck out back in the 5th inning. Low for ball 1. Sullivan misses again, close on the slider, 2-0. Changing up his delivery for a second, and actually works. Helps him get the strike. 2-1. And again, with balk rules, you can move your legs a bit, just can't do the glove. It's hand movement that's big when you're talking about funky deliveries. Urso with a throw. Dosco stays on the bag. I like pitchers with funky deliveries. I mean, talk about Nestor Cortez in the major leagues. He would have been in the WBC, but currently nursing an injury, and Yankees just exercising caution. But always fun to see pitchers that add a nice little leg kick, something extra. Strike 1, 1-1. Strike 2, 1-2, getting some big swings and misses. And that's the type of fun outing that Sullivan won't mind. That one's low for ball 2. 2-2 here. And he's got him. A quick inning with 2 strikeouts, and Sullivan retires the top of the 8th. We'll be back with the bottom of the 8th after this.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can. And then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Dosco, Garavito, Nunez due up for the Spartans. See, is this Harrison or did they make a change? It looks like they may have made a change, unless that one, what it looks like on the jersey, is actually a 1. Could be a different number. So indeed it is a change. It's going to be number 10, Newt Rockney. 4 innings, 2.8 ERA with just 1 earned, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. That'll end Harrison's day at 2 innings and a third. Good outing from him. Came in when he needed him, and he's kept the Spartans somewhat quiet. I mentioned back in the bottom of the 7th that the Spartans only had a runner. Well, indeed, they only had a run. This one hit deep, but not deep enough. That'll be a flyout for E.J. Dosko, 1 away. So the Spartans did score in the bottom of the 7th. But that 1 run was all they got. Here comes Garavito. Rough day for him and Dosko, but more often than not, they've gotten on base with walks. Garavito would like to try to end his day on a hit. This will be pretty much the last bottom half, unless you see a huge comeback from Embry Riddle in the top of the 9th. Then Last Chance Saloon, the famed Gunslinger's Alley. A duel in the Western. But so far, the Spartans with a big lead in that showdown. It's going to need some moving magic, and, well, getting a little bit of magic is Garavito. One away. Outside, ball 1. Again, if this game and series was a duel between Cowboys and the Wild West, well, it would be pretty obvious who the dangerous outlaw would be. It would be the Spartan side that has put up 32 runs, plus 1, 33 now, over the weekend. Their offense doing wonders. Embry Riddle, sadly, just a few steps behind. They've kept it close in Game 1, but just haven't found enough offense to keep these games closer in Game 2 and 3. Still early for the season for both teams, and Embry Riddle has had a good start. They face some tough opponents, and again, at the end of the day, facing a tough opponent like the Spartans will help them out as the season continues. 3-1. And Nunez was ready for ball 4, but it's called on the corner. We've got a full count here. Nunez 1 for 3, walk in the first, single in the 6th. Runner on first. Will Garavito go? Probably not. And he didn't have to. That's ball 4, and both runners move up. That's going to bring up E.J. Cumbo. He's now got Garavito in scoring position. Could bring him home with an RBI. Cumbo had an RBI back in the 3rd. He's 2 for 4 today. Grounded out to first in his most recent at-bat. Actually, I think Cumbo got pinch hit for here, because he's on the right side of the plate, and that is not where Cumbo usually bats. Indeed, that is a change for the Spartans. I'll get you that in just a half second. It's Matthew Fogel. He's only had 1 at-bat this season, and Coach Urso's going to give him another. 0-1. That one gets in the dirt and gets away, but no one was moving, so they'll stay there, 1-1. See a little action, I think, of the Spartans' bullpen, just getting someone ready potentially for the 9th. One and 1 Fogel. This one high, ball 2. And day has really turned the night here at the University of Tampa. The sky has gotten darker. Swung on and missed. It's 2-2. Popped up. Should be 2 away. Arcena makes that look easy. And indeed, it was a relatively painless pop out that time. Luis Rodriguez, he's not going to get pinch hit for. He's going to have another chance here. 2 doubles and a single. He brought home an RBI back in the third. 2 away. I'd like to give the Spartans that extra run for the lead. Taking low, ball 1. Inside, it's 2-0. Luis Rodriguez is very familiar with the hit by pitch. Last season with Florida Gulf Coast, he set a school record of getting hit 4 times in one game. And the main question is, what did he do to make the other team so mad? Because hit someone once, that's an accident. Hit someone twice, that's unfortunate. Once you get to the 3rd time, that is on purpose. That is no longer an accident. That is no longer a skill issue. That is genuine beef between yourself and another team. 3-0 Rodriguez. Almost gets hit, but he knows how to get out of the way. Bases are loaded with 2 outs for Jose Cadenas. Last at bat, he ripped the first pitch he saw into left field. And he's got a chance to bring home a run. Cadenas later scored as the 9th run, I think, of the game for the Spartans, back in the 7th. See what he does here. 2 away. Fouled back right in the path of the booth. I actually backed out of the way instinctively. If you don't know, over the summer, I actually had to do that for real when a foul ball out in Jamestown entered my booth while I was doing summer baseball coverage for the Elmira Pioneers. Got some good reflexes because of that summer. 0-1 for Cadenas. This one gets away. Runners will stay put. Would have been a close play for Garavito, but he doesn't want to risk ending the inning, so he's just going to stay back. If there's 1 out, I think Garavito tries it, though. Also, if it's a closer game, he might. Spartans have a somewhat comfortable lead. They don't need to be extremely aggressive on the base paths. 1-1. Garavito at 3rd, Nunez at 2nd, Rodriguez at 1st. Taken outside for ball 2. Saladino due up. He's going to pinch hit for Jordan Lala. He'd certainly be filling in right field, I believe. Question is, will Saladino get an at-bat? This one's grounded right to Harrison. Nope, not to Harrison. The pitcher they forgot to change in the update. Rocky gets out of the inning. Even though the bases got loaded, Tampa couldn't score. Final shot, 3 outs to go at the top of the 9th.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Cameron Serrata enters the game for the Spartans. It's good to see the number 5 taking some practice pitches. He's had 3 appearances, 5 1/3, 9 strikeouts, and no walks. He has been lights out this year, and I'm really hoping Urso keeps letting him cook. By the way, if you're just a little fun fact around the D2 world, over at North Greenville, their very own Marek Schulp, one of their players, turned a double, a 102-mile-an-hour pitch off of Roki Sasaki, who is one of the biggest rookie phenoms in all of World Baseball, lighting it up in the MPB. And of course, you don't know who Marek Schlupp is. Well, he's actually a player over at North Greenville. So if they go far in the tournament, Spartans eventually could find out that they might be facing a World Baseball Classic veteran. One away as this one's driven deep and flown out. Vittoria is 0 for 4. Again, I think very cool to see players from D2 pitching in some crazy places. One 1-0 taken high for Britain. He's 0 for 2, but did draw a walk back in the 4th inning. This one popped up. Earhart makes the diving grab. Wow. It was weird because Urso was, I think, closer to it, but Earhart called for it and makes an incredible dive for the second out. Serrata's needed only 2 pitches to go through 2 batters. Well, 3 actually. That was a 2-pitch at bat. That one's going to be foul. 0-1 now for James. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. Would like to avoid the golden sombrero. Swung on and missed, 0-2. Serrata needs just one more. And that's going to be pretty far foul. It's hard to tell. Did that escape the net? I think it may have. And again, I've been mentioning the net. If you don't know what it is, it's a 100-foot net that surrounds the stadium, protecting students that are passing by and also cars that are driving by. 0-2. Got him, and that'll be the game, and that'll be the sweep. It's a shutout. A big combined one with a lot of appearances, and the Spartans go 1, 2, and 3 to end the 9th and to end the weekend show. Embry Riddle, unfortunately, will exit the weekend 10-8. The Spartans will exit the weekend 17-3. It's a good day for Skylar Gonzalez. I think he did enough to get the win. Now, obviously, do have to go long enough in the game to be qualified. But he did a good outing. Honestly, a good outing from Moran, just not a lot of luck from balls in play. And Spartans were able to score quite a few. But overall, a good series. And the Spartans take it in 3. Big performance from today from a lot of Spartan hitters. But I think if you look at the home team, the one you got to look at the most is probably Luis Rodriguez. Got an RBI on a 3-for-4 day. Another one would certainly be the 2-for-5 day with 2 runs batted in by J.D. Urso. Well, that'll conclude the weekend series. Stay tuned. I know we've got women's basketball shortly over at the Bob Martinez Center and more of the regional tomorrow there. But I'm Taylor Storley signing off. Thanks again to Arnaldo Zakiri for helping out on with the stream. And, of course, Sam Schneider for being with me for Game 1. Good night.